investing, shares, crypto, forex, options, futures. So many things to think of. Let's try and demystify it. Here we go. We've got 10 minutes. Let's talk. Firstly, get on to the title. See you shortly. Afternoon, everyone. Well, welcome to another episode of Getting to the Heart of It All from ASX Traders United. I thought I'd do this short video here in terms of trading and investing. Why are we even bothering with any of this? I've been getting a few questions from members of the team, as well as just noticing a few questions on a couple of forums around, basically just in terms of why do we even get involved in share trading or even just investing in terms of anything at all? And I just thought, well, let's whack a few slides together on a day off and present something here as well. And it's been a while in between drinks, I suppose, in terms of doing an actual presentation. So here we go. Give you something to go here as well here, and hopefully have some information here of some use. So here goes. Let's get this show on the road. So people trade and invest for many reasons. And here are just a couple of ideas that I thought of in terms of a few reasons why people will trade. Well, basically, in terms of investing as well too, there's a pride in owning part of a company. That's one of the main reasons, and we'll go into that in a few moments there as well. Some people will just aim to make a profit, and others will try and derive an income from it as well too. But basically, it's in terms of enhancing wealth for savings and retirement. We'll go into each of these sections one at a time and be able to delve into some of these issues themselves, just to be able to get some idea, and maybe some of these ideas will resonate with you as well as to why you would want to actually invest. And maybe you may not have actually invested or traded yet, just trying to actually get into it in terms of thinking, well, I haven't pulled the trigger right now, but one of these reasons might be enough to be able to actually get you over the line and try, and then just get over that fear in itself that actually might be holding you back. So we'll go into one step at a time. The first piece of this pie in itself, in terms of pride and owning part of a company in itself there. And there's lots of companies. Like, take a look at a couple of these examples in terms of lots of different logos overall. And there is a lot of pride involved in terms of actually owning part of a company. You may not be able to actually have enough funds yourself to be able to actually own your own company. So why not own part of someone else's company? And there is some pride in terms of actually owning part of someone else's company, because you might like their product, for instance. And under that circumstance there, that may be just enough to be able to say, well, I actually want to own part of their company because I actually like their product, or I like what they're doing. I like their ethics. I like whatever they might be actually thinking about in terms of what they're actually offering. And that could be enough in terms of being able to say, yes, I like what they're doing, and I actually put trust in myself in terms of actually putting some of my own money into that company itself. Going back to that pie itself, perhaps your ethos for doing it would be to make a profit. And, well, why not? There's nothing wrong with that in itself there. Give back a little bit to society as well at the same time whilst you're making a profit. Fantastic. The whole ethos in itself there, buying low, selling high. Simple? Yeah. Everyone thinks so, absolutely. Just think about it though. There's just under 2,500 companies listed on the ASX. Go for it, have a choice. It can be very, very difficult swinging an ocean trying to find something there. There are a lot to choose from. But you have to remember as well, we're just a drop in the ocean. You can take a look at that particular reference down below there as well in your own time. The ASX itself comprises just a mere 2.1% of the world equity market value. And that was actually calculated back in January 2021. So we really are just a drop in the ocean. So don't be afraid to explore outside the ASX in itself in terms of different companies that are available around the world. In terms of making a profit, there are different techniques and methods. No doubt about that at all. You've got fundamental analysis. You have technical analysis. There are so many different ways you can actually look at companies in terms of how they're actually running from a balance sheet, that's fundamental analysis, or technical analysis in terms of the charts. You can invest using shares. You can invest using contracts for difference. You can invest using options. You can invest using futures, crypto, foreign exchange. You know what? Really, at the end of the day, importantly, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's really whatever works best for you. Take your time. Find what is right for you. Of course, I'm not giving you investment advice here, but what I'm really aiming to do more than anything else is basically just try and lead you by the hand more than anything else to say, look, take your time. Even if you don't feel as though investing is right for you at all, then don't do it. It's whatever works best for you overall. That is what is best for you. That is the whole idea more than anything else. And at the end of the day, make the decision that is right for you in terms of your own financial circumstances. And you'll see a disclaimer at the end of this particular presentation as well in relation to all of that. And ask questions. Have a word with your advisors. Have a look at your personal financial circumstances. Have a look at how your risk tolerance applies in terms of whichever way works for you in terms of investment strategies. There's also the opposite as well. We've been talking about that a lot on the ASX Traders United forum recently as well. There's an idea called shorting, which is actually where you actually sell high and then buy it back low later on down the track as well. We'll discuss that another time. Bit of a teaser for later on as well there too. But there's a lot of examples I've actually been dealing with a lot recently as well. And I'll provide some of those examples in that particular discussion at a later time as well. Going on to that third section of the pie in terms of deriving an income. Okay, now this is where things get a little bit more interesting. We've been having some discussions here in the ASX Traders United forum there as well too in terms of deriving incomes here. I think the example given was Fortescue Metals in terms of that particular example there. And you can see that there listed as the second highest dividend yield there, which I actually just took a screenshot of this earlier today. And you can basically see the dividend payments are preferred by some investors. And you can see the reason why. Pretty attractive. But you have to also remember as well, like I've mentioned down below there, the share price decline will naturally increase the dividend yield that is actually being described by a company overall there. So the dividend yield is calculated based on the share price itself. So something to keep in mind there overall too. But these are the kind of things that can actually attract some investors as well. The only thing is, I suppose you need to probably keep in mind as well too, that, is that dividend going to be maintained as well? It's another side of the coin to be able to keep in mind there too. In terms of deriving income as well, there are also other things to potentially consider as well, and something else that a lot of people may wish to actually think about too as a potential, and something else to investigate as another thing to do some research about as well. You can also protect your shares, and you might be thinking, hang on, what are you talking about? Yes, you can. You can protect your shares in the same way that you insure your house, you insure your car, you insure your boat. It's an asset. Shares are an asset. You can actually insure them in the same way. There's a thing called put options, and that might be something you want to take a look at as well there too. And you can actually insure your shares in that same way. On top of that as well, there's another one in terms of the deriving of the income, so to speak, there as well. You can actually sell call options over your own shares as well in terms of considering making your own dividends, if that's something of interest to you as well. It is a strategy. It's a strategy called a covered call. So if you are owning your shares on a long-term basis, that may be something that you may wish to consider as well, and could be something to think about in terms of what you wish to do with things in terms of your own shares. Of course, something to definitely consider is that the cost of dealing with options down here in Australia, it's not that cheap, unfortunately. However, over in the US, cost of dealing with options is a lot cheaper. And I've been definitely saying that on quite a lot of boards, including our own board in terms of the ASX Traders United board. So it's something to definitely have a look at overall. Have a look at your own circumstances in that way as well. Sometimes I'm even thinking, well, there's only certain areas I'm looking at in terms of the Australian markets now. I'm even considering probably even just going into the American markets. But, you just got to take a look and see how you're thinking about things overall with the way markets are running, and in terms of the way brokerage firms can charge like wounded bulls at times. But then again, that's my own personal opinion. But have a look at your own circumstances in terms of the way you wish to actually deal with the markets as well too. Opportunities will arise. use things in terms of your own circumstances in the way that actually works to your benefit. That's the way I would personally say in terms of my own personal opinion. But let's just leave it there for now in terms of this short presentation. I don't want to go on too long about things there. A lot of people already know my opinions about certain things. But in terms of most importantly, and the final note more than anything, enjoy the journey. It really is a lot of learning ahead. I hope this has just been a really, really good, short, brief introduction as to why we're actually doing any of this in the first place. Look, feel free to pop along to the ASX Traders United forum if you're not already part of it. I hope this has all been very, very useful information just in terms of just general knowledge. We're all there just to help and support each other. And feel free to ask your questions. That's probably one of the biggest things there. We're all learning new things all the time. I'm learning still as well. We're not going to make wins on every single trade we do or every single investment we do. There's no doubt about that at all. And it's just a mere fact of being supportive towards each other. And that's one thing I absolutely love and adore about this particular group as well too. So keep up the great attitude, everyone. I hope everyone's doing absolutely well, especially with all of this pandemic that's going on at this point in time. Keep smiling, keep supporting each other, and look forward to conversing with you more on the board. Take care for now. Catch up with you soon. Bye for now.